Hi there. Welcome to episode 3 of Confessions with yours truly, Linda. So, we recently went to Langkawi for a family holiday. Not so much a holiday. For episode 3, I thought of sharing with you my experience of the vacation and a few tips for parents like me who are also considering traveling with your little ones. So, for context, I have a 3.5-year-old boy and a 1.5-year-old baby girl. So, Jane and I got married in 2021 and it was COVID. Right after our wedding, we went into a lockdown and there was no chance of travel. My son joined us in 2022 April. Since then, we have really reconsidered traveling to any other location other than where our respective parents live. Mostly because we are already overstimulated and tired. Probably our parents with less stamina. Langkawi trip was our first touristy kind of trip that we took as a family of 4. I'll be very honest, I was really feeling a lot of anxiety during the days that led up to this trip because you don't know what to expect, not being sure of how it would turn out. And to add on to the stress, both my babies fell ill before we started our journey. So we had to carry all the medicines with us during the trip. Thankfully, it wasn't too bad because my children, they cope. When you travel with small children, things are very unpredictable and it is almost 90% sure either they will fall ill before or during or after the trip. So before you embark on any such journey, especially with really small children, keep this in mind and be prepared for it. My boy, he was full of energy. He did not really like not following his usual home routine. There would be tantrums followed by meltdowns every 10 minutes. Things were especially worse in the mornings when we had to wake him up and take him along with us for breakfast. My little boy, he has a mind and a will of his own. So if we didn't comply with his requirements, it almost always led to a meltdown. My little girl, she showed her crankiness by not eating a bite, not eating a proper meal throughout the entire trip. In fact, both my children survived on French fries, fruit juice, chocolates and ice cream. Please don't judge me. I have to be honest. As already tired and overstimulated parents, we just let them eat whatever it was because it was difficult as it is. Something that my little girl would keep going back to was a packet of millet biscuits that I had carried with me for her, and that was what she would nibble on every time that she would feel hungry because she absolutely refused to eat any food. Even the things that she would normally eat at home, those two she refused to eat. So my husband and I, we felt like we paid money to get beaten up by our children. It wasn't a relaxing holiday by any means. It was a very adventurous one, like being trapped in an escape room or that board game Jumanji. It was like that. So I thought I would put together some tips for parents like us who are looking forward to traveling with their little ones. And so here they are. So tip number 1, choose a place which is child friendly. Langkawi was very calm and beautiful and perfect for our first trip as a family with 2 small children. And we made sure to book accommodation places that are very easily accessible. We stayed near the Senang beach and every place was accessible by strollers. Within a short walk, we would be able to get to places to have lunch, dinner, snacks or refreshments. It was even convenient to do a quick supermarket run if required. The beach was right next door. You just had to cross the road to get to the beach, and that was just amazing for me. And there is a water world, and this was also located like a few meters away from the hotel. We could just walk to this place. Tip number 2, just accept that your children may not eat as they normally would. Especially this becomes relevant for parents who have children who are picky eaters. And so because of this, you need to make sure that you carry snacks with you like millet biscuits or nuts or makhana, lotus seeds. My children would not eat well during any of the actual meal breaks, and these snacks were what really helped them in between, especially my baby girl. I think it's even a good idea to carry be some fruit, especially the ones that you may not get in this place that you're going to. The non-squishy, not too ripe ones, which would get ripe within the right frame of time. For example, I wish I had carried with me the yellaki type banana that you get in Karnataka. The small bananas, my daughter loves them, and this was something that was not available there. I was thinking, if I had carried that, at least this she would have eaten regularly. In Langkawi, you get a lot of fresh fruit juices and coconut water at every turn, and so this was really helpful for us. There is a disclaimer to all this. Even if you are 100% prepared with all the snacks and perfect meal plans for your children, sometimes they may not eat what they regularly eat. So it is a game of gamble, literally. You have to be prepared for that. So don't feel irritated when things don't go according to your plan. Tip number 3 would be to choose flight timings during when your children normally nap. So that would help them to, avoid the restlessness that comes with traveling in airtight, closed spaces where you can't really move a lot, like an aeroplane. Tip number 4 would be to travel to places which are not too sightseeing heavy. This is especially for parents who are traveling for the first time with small children, really small children. Don't have high expectations and plan an entire day of sightseeing. You need to have a balance where, one half is for the sightseeing, touristy things, and the second half is for something that's a little more relaxed, something that maybe your children might enjoy more. For example, spending time at the beach or the pool, or just go for a slow walk to have dinner or snacks, or just spend time without pushing them to do something. It would help if you include activities that children enjoy. Tip number 5 would be to keep your trips short, especially if it is your first time. A 4-day, 3-night trip is going to do you enough. Just keep it really short and really simple. Tip number 6, I think this is a personal opinion. I somehow have a theory that if you travel in groups, especially with another family who also have children who are at a similar age, or if you are lucky enough to ask the grandparents to tag along, then do that, because the children end up being occupied with each other, and I believe that the meltdowns and the tantrums can also reduce. Sometimes because the other child is eating, your child also might eat. We had recently taken a family trip with my in-laws and the children, and my son absolutely enjoyed that entire trip. He spent a lot of time with his cousins. They loved each other, and it was a lot of fun for my boy, and I think even for everyone on the trip. But there is always a downside, especially when you're traveling in groups. There is always the problem of differences in temperament. One person might want to do a lot of sightseeing while the other would like to take it easy. So there is always the need to, find a balance. Tip number 7. So my tips are so far for parents who are traveling with really small children, and these children may not even be potty trained yet, and so it's so important for you to carry your disposable diapers with you unless you're 100% sure that you will get this at the place that you're going to. Especially when you travel to touristy locations, sometimes you may not easily find them around. I believe that this reduces a lot of stress. Okay, so tip number 8. Now this is for people like me who like taking a lot of videos and pictures when you're on vacation. I want to remind you to, keep it light, because you would probably need to carry your children around, and at that point in time, a heavy bag is something that you would feel like flinging away from you, because of the weight. All you need is a good camera, which is available on your phone, and if you like the videos and photo quality from your phone, then go for it. Otherwise, always just go for a small, compact, travel-friendly camera. Do not think of carrying a spare camera. It's not required. There is no time to look into your bag. There is really no time to change the cameras and use it. Just make sure that you have extra battery. Do not think of carrying a full frame camera. The variety of lenses, especially when you travel with children, because it's impossible to change any lens mid-travel. This time I took my Fujifilm X100 which allowed me to take really nice magical pictures. Overall, I would say that this was a bittersweet experience, and I think it would be the case for all parents who are traveling traveling with their little ones for the first time. You are so tired at the end of it all, but at the same time, you have collected all these memories of their laughter and the funny things that happened, good or bad, the little signs of enjoyment that you see in their faces. Sometimes I feel that it was worth it. Currently, my husband and I are just too tired to think of traveling again with my kids to another touristy location. We haven't recovered yet from this one, but you never know. We might change our mind and go back for another adventure.